Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to talk about something that can literally make or break your website's visibility. It's called the crawl budget.
So picture this. You've spent hours, maybe even days, pouring your heart into a fantastic new article or product page. You hit that publish button and you wait. But nothing. Crickets. It raises that big, scary question. Just because you built it, does that mean Google will actually come and see it? Well, not always.
To really get why, let's imagine Google's crawler, what we call Googlebot, as this incredibly busy explorer. Its mission? To map the entire, vast universe of the internet. But here's the thing. This explorer is on a tight schedule. It has limited time and resources, which means it can't just hang around your website all day.
And that idea of limited time, well, that brings us right to the heart of today's topic, your site's crawl budget. You can think of it as the amount of time and energy that our little explorer, Googlebot, is willing to spend checking out your corner of the web.
So what is it exactly?
Well, Google themselves define it as the number of URLs that Googlebot can crawl and wants to crawl. Now, that distinction between can and want is absolutely crucial, and it all breaks down into two key factors.
First, you've got crawl rate. This is just how fast our Explorer can move through your site. It's purely technical. If your server is quick, the Explorer can zip around. If it's slow, Googlebot has to pump the brakes. Then there's crawl demand. This is the wants part. Is your site popular? Is your content fresh, exciting, and high quality? That's what makes the Explorer want to stick around and see more. Okay, this all sounds pretty important, right? But here's a fair question. Does everyone really need to be actively managing their crawl budget? Or is this something that only the huge, massive players on the web need to worry about?
Well, Google is actually pretty clear about this. They say you should definitely be paying close attention if you have a massive site, like over 1 million pages, or even a medium-sized one that you're updating every single day. Another huge red flag is if you see a lot of discovered, currently not indexed messages in Google Search Console. And finally, there's one more biggie to watch out for: JavaScript. So why is JavaScript such a budget hog? Well, it's because it adds this whole extra, really resource-intensive step to the process. For a simple HTML page, it's just crawl, then index. Easy. But a page built with a lot of JavaScript has to be crawled, then it has to be rendered, where Google essentially builds the page like a web browser would, and only then can it be indexed. That two-wave process can burn through your budget really, really fast.
So if you're in one of those boats, what can you actually do about it? The good news is there are two main strategies for optimizing your crawl budget. Let's think of them as two different paths you can take to help our Explorer do its job way more effectively.
Path number one isn't about getting more of the Explorer's time. It's about making the absolute most of the time you're already getting. It's all about efficiency. You're basically handing Googlebot a nice, clean, easy-to-read map that points directly to your best stuff and tells it which areas to just ignore. And this map-making process breaks down into 3 key steps. First, you've got to block off all the unimportant, low-value pages. Second, you want to clean up any confusing, identical-looking places. And third, you need to repair any dead ends or broken pathways that might trip the Explorer up. Your number one tool for this is your robots.txt file. This thing basically acts as a series of do not enter signs for crawlers. You can use it to block off areas like login pages, shopping carts, or those crazy search filter combinations that can create a practically infinite number of URLs. You're just telling the Explorer, hey, nothing to see here, keep moving. And this quote from Seeability just hits the nail on the head. Every second Googlebot spends crawling a page that doesn't matter to you is a second it's not spending on the content that actually drives your business. It's just a wasted opportunity. Now, what's really cool is how your server is constantly talking to the Explorer using what we call HTTP status codes. A 200 OK is like a green light saying everything's good, come on in. A 301 redirect is a detour sign pointing the way to a new location. A 404 not found is a clear road closed sign. And a 5XX server error, that's a big warning sign that makes the Explorer slow way down. Making sure these signals are all correct is a huge part of being efficient.
Okay, that was path 1, all about efficiency. Path 2 is all about attraction. The strategy here is to make your website so important, so popular, and so valuable that Google wants to dedicate more of its resources to exploring it. You're basically turning your site from just another spot on the map into a can't-miss landmark.
So, how do you become a landmark? Well, it always starts with creating high-quality, valuable content and keeping it fresh with regular updates. On the technical side of things, having a blazing fast server improves your crawl rate, And finally, building up your site's popularity with strong backlinks from other sites is what really ramps up that all-important crawl demand.
So you've improved your map, and you're working on becoming a landmark. That's great, but how do you actually know if any of this is working? How can you track where our Explorer is going?
I mean, how can you be sure the Explorer is even reading your new map? Well, you need data. And fortunately, there are some great tools that give you a direct window into what Googlebot is up to on your site.
The first one, and the one that's most accessible, is Google Search Console. The crawl stats report in there will show you trends in how often Google is stopping by. But if you want the absolute, ground-level, ultimate source of truth, you need to dive into your server logs. This shows you every single request Googlebot has ever made. And when you boil it all down, it's pretty simple. Whether you're drawing a better map or building a huge landmark, the end goal is exactly the same. You just want to clear the path so that Googlebot can easily find, understand, and index your most important content.
Look, at the end of the day, optimizing your crawl budget is a technical job for sure, but it serves a very human purpose. It's about making sure that all the amazing content you've worked so hard on actually gets discovered. So the real question is, once you hand that Explorer the perfect map, what incredible treasures is it going to find?